Dude, guys, we're back. Can you hear me? This sounds funny. Technical difficulties. You guys got me, or is this coming through weird? Lots in the chat already. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is Free Talk Tuesday, Creighton, and there's a lot to go over. And I'm going to start off right off the bat with a nah, because I get crap for the takes that I take. Sometimes I am wrong on things, as we all are. We do our analysis, and I think I have a unique approach to my analysis. I think it's a little different. That's why you guys started tuning in, and there's some good stuff that comes with that. Sometimes I'm wrong. You guys are going to like this episode today. I have a lot in here that I was trying to make in an individualized video. YouTube kept shooting it down. That I went to some Cubs games, and I'm a little off on my scheduling. But you're going to like this video. And there is a lot of Jordan Love in here. I'm going to try to minimize it, but it does relate exactly to the headline of this video, which is, this is exactly why the Bears drafted Caleb Williams. So we're going to get into that. We'll get into all of that. We're obviously into camp. I'm listening right now. Apparently I timed this video poorly because Eric Washington was just got done talking, so I wasn't listening to all of it. I'm trying to do my 9-to-5 job over here, trying to get caught up on everything. I'm listening to him, and this is why I say I'm going to say right off the bat, nah, because I have been touting, I'm the only one that I know of that's been touting Jacob Martin as hard as I have been. All the Yannick Ngakoue lovers out there have been saying, Yannick this, Yannick that, and I've been saying, guys, Jacob Martin is better than Yannick Ngakoue. Jacob Martin is Yannick Ngakoue, but with a 17.3% win rate, which is 24th in the entire NFL last year. Yes, his snaps were very limited. And if you follow me on Twitter, don't. But now you can, actually, because I'm going to get into that too. Here, let me hurry and pull that up. For those that want to follow me, I have made it professional now. There at the bottom, if you can see that, you probably can't. Oh, let's get a little zoom in going here. Wow, too zoomed in, apparently. That's not working. Right there. There is my Bear Down Sports without an O, because somebody selfishly stole sports with an O. So I've created that Twitter now to be my professional Twitter, where it's just Bears-related content. So go ahead and follow me there. I'm all in favor of you guys following me on that one. Don't follow me on this other one that's Adam H. Mason. That's my person. Unless you like my personal views, which is fine. I'm a very opinionated person. I'm going to put stuff unrelated to Bears content, politics, other stuff on there. If you don't want to see that crap, don't follow me there. If you want to see the Bears stuff, follow me on Bear Down Sports, because that's where I'm going to put all my Bear stuff, all my takes, as we continue to try to grow this thing and get going with it. So let's remove that from the screen, get back to it. All right, here is, I'm going to get off Jordan Love for a minute. I will get to Jordan Love, guys. I'm going to get to that. You're going to love what you hear. But I was just listening to Eric Washington as I was trying to get everything finalized to start this episode. And first of all, actually, let's go back here. Let's go back and say hi to everybody in here. Plank, you're the man. Thanks for being here. Eric Harper, Oxy Brodone, Jay, Dougie Deuce, Creighton Will Funk. This is freaking hilarious. Breaking news. Gervon Dexter was last seen pulling the heart out of a Green Bay Pukes fan. All I could hear him saying was, Hulk likes killing Jordan Love and laughing. Hulk smash. I freaking love it. All right. Andy, appreciate you being in here. Longhorn Jeff, Roxanne, all you guys. You're all awesome. Okay. I'm just going to play this on here because it's going to be too hard for me to pull up and get it all while we were going, because I was literally listening to this right while Mitch just joining in. Thank you, Mitch. Mention you too. Love that you're here. All right. I'm just going to push play here and let it go for a second, right on where I was. And this is where I'm going to say, nah, because Jacob Martin is defensive end 3, and a lot of people aren't realizing it. I mean, are even arguing with a couple people on Twitter, so a couple really well-known people on Twitter, who I said 17.3 win rate was top in the league last year. Literally, it was one of the highest in the entire league. He just hasn't had the opportunity since he left Houston. And with Indy last year, he didn't have the same opportunity there. Now, guys, realize Indy's defensive line is stacked. So Jacob Martin wasn't going to get the opportunity in Indy to be able to be a defensive end 3. But right here, Eric Washington says he's going to be a third down back. That's exactly what I said. He's going to be on third down. He's going to be a pass rush specialist. Just listen for 2 seconds here for this.
Actually, a young player, just a mindset. He's competing out there, and he's competing to win. He's got one objective in mind, and that's to put himself in position to hit the quarterback. So I'm really excited to see that.
Is Jacob Martin going full speed because he played in a similar scheme with Lovey previously in Houston? And how do you evaluate him?
Jacob, great speed and quickness, very athletic. He's an excellent space player, but he's really sturdy at the point of attack. And so those types of things you really need to have. So, I mean, we can anticipate his role being as a 3-down defender. So far as a right defensive end, he's doing a nice job. And then the other thing with him, Brad, is just the way that he comes out early to practice every day by himself. And he just starts to mentally tune himself up to go out and put forth the kind of practice he wants to have, to establish himself as the kind of rusher we need him to be.
When heads go on Friday, Saturday.
It's probably enough for now. All right. Jacob Martin's being overlooked by our own fan base. That's fine. Let's get into the entire team. Let's get into the 90-man roster. Let's get into all of it. I'm telling you right now, Jacob Martin's going to be a special player for those third downs. His stats per play are phenomenal. He played well in Houston. He hasn't had the opportunity since. There's a reason we're not signing Yannick Ngakoue. There's a reason we're not signing other players. We have the 90-man roster filled now. You guys, camp is underway. We all know that. Camp is going well. I'm going to say right off the bat, I'm not the guy to be able to be covering what's happening at Hallis Hall right now. I don't have my press credentials. I don't even live in freaking Chicago. I hope everything's going according to plan. But to me, there's so much right now this time of year where you see this. Up and down. Oh, Caleb Williams threw an interception. Oh, Caleb Williams did this good. Oh, Caleb Williams did that bad. Oh, this is good. This is bad. This is good. Oh, everyone's basically just clamoring for anything right now. The reality is the reason they're there right now is to put the team together and to run the offense. And if you really listen to Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles and everything they're saying, it's about getting timing and the team together on the same page. So we're not going to have anything resolved right now. You're not going to have anything resolved as we go through the beginning games of the preseason. This is really just an opportunity for the team to be gelling, getting everything going. And everything I'm listening to indicates that everything's swimming. Everything's wonderful. It's going well. Caleb's processing. He's doing well with his cadences. He's doing well with his command of the huddle. I'm not worried about anything. If he throws 3 picks today, I'm not worried about it. If he throws no picks tomorrow, I'm not overreacting and saying he's him. On this channel, I'm going to do the deep analytical dives and see why we drafted him, why we have the players we have, why the 90-man roster is filling out the way it does, and why we didn't go sign Ogba or Connor Williams or anything else like that. Now, the one thing I'll tell you as I do watch this stuff, the one thing that is concerning to me so far is the center position. And that's why we continue to have the obsessive Connor Williams watch. Now, it might disappoint some people, but today I'm going to stop the obsessive Connor Williams watch. I don't think we're signing him. After Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles' comments where they said we like the team where it is, we made a lot of additions, that's exactly what they did. They made those changes, they made those additions, and now they're running with it. Ryan Bates, Coleman Shelton at center, rotating snaps. Now, right after Ryan Bates took day 1 of camp's reps, people on Twitter coming after me. You said this, you said that, Coleman Shelton, blah, blah, blah. Well, then day 2, Coleman. That's why I'm saying we don't overreact to these things. Now, I will tell you when I'm watching some of the highlights, some of the things other people aren't picking up, there's some snaps where Caleb's sitting just like this, and he's grabbing like that, grabbing like this. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. What I will say in response to that, though, is when Connor Williams moved from guard to center, when he moved from Dallas to Miami, he wasn't perfect at snapping either. My hope is that Ryan Bates picks everything up really, really well and becomes the center because we have 2 years of control. That's the only reason. That's all I care about is having consistency with this quarterback because we haven't had that. We've gone through Lucas Patrick and Cody Whitehair, Sam Mustafer, you can go down the line, and we haven't had consistency on this offensive line for years. Same thing when you're watching the stuff about Tevin Jenkins that came out. And if nobody has heard some of these things, and this is new, that's not what I'm trying to do is to bring the breaking news. I'm just kind of giving recap of camp how I feel about things and where things are. In June, Tevin Jenkins said, we've reached out to the Bears. We want to get an extension done. Well, of course he does. He loves being a Chicago Bear, and his game is ascending every year. He's doing very well. The Bears, in response, have said, according to reports, have said that's going to have to come at least after week, I don't remember what it was, 12, 13, 14. Well, if you look into that, it's pretty obvious what's going on there is they want to see him healthy, and they want to see his pass blocking ability improve. He's improved every year, but his weakness was pass blocking and not staying on the field. Would we love to give Tevin Jenkins an extension? Absolutely. But everything hinges on this team around protecting the number one quarterback that we've ever drafted, number one overall this year, and a generational high prospect quarterback. That's what it all hinges around. So there's a lot of storylines in camp. That's the point of where I'm getting at. There's going to be a lot of story camp. None of them mean bupkis until we get to the season. And I was just in Chicago watching some Cubs games with my brother, and we were talking all weekend. We almost did a podcast while we were out there, but we were having fun, and we didn't take time out of our schedule to break for this. Sorry. But he had some really good takes. And he's very much like many other people where his view is, I've seen this carousel before. I'm worried. I like all the additions. I like the changes in the front office. I like everything that's happened, but I still have my QB PTSD. And until someone does it, I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. And that's not a foreign concept. I'm more of a hype guy. I get very into it. You saw me with Justin Fields. You're seeing me now with Caleb Williams. Once I come around, I get all in, and I'm one of those fully invested guys on the team. But if you watch Speak, ESPN Speak, 4 days ago, 3 days ago, I don't remember the exact day, but you guys will know what I'm talking about if you saw it. They were talking about realistic expectations of Caleb Williams. And they said different ones. Well, I've got Joy especially said, well, I've got a different expectation that I have for Caleb than I have for the team, because the Bears have never proven anything, and they're in a tough division. And what I have expectations for, basically, they all went around and they said, we expect Caleb to break the Bears rookie record. They expect Caleb to break the Bears all-time quarterback record for passing in a season, all-time touchdowns of 29, so it's going to be 30. Back in 1995 or whenever it was, Eric Kramer set these records for the Bears, and then rookie records with Mitch Trubisky and all these things. But we don't expect him to make the playoffs. Well, guys, if he breaks all those records, the Bears are making the playoffs. It's not like we have the junkiest defense in the league that can't do their part. And if Caleb's doing his part, it doesn't make sense. People have two-edged sword to all these things. And it's just weird to see the justifying for hating on the Bears, but loving on situations of where the team's going. I don't know. So none of it matters until we get on the field and prove it. But what is fun to watch is all the reactions, all the people's takes of Caleb Williams. And I'm going to break down why the Bears today drafted him. For that, first, let's start with, let me pull up here. This is all the way back to the combine, guys. All the way back to the combine. This was before we traded Justin Fields. This is what, and I've chopped it up just to be the parts that are important on the quarterback. This is what Matt Eberflus said about the Bears and a quarterback and what he's looking for. So let me start.
A quarterback, obviously, is number one is leadership. You got to have to be a great leader. You got to be resilient. You got to be able to handle criticism. And then obviously the physical traits. That's a big part of it. The accuracy, the timing, the platform, all the things you talk about with that, and then being a winner. That's what it comes down to. These teams that do things at the end of the season, they have winners at the quarterback spot. I've been looking at quarterbacks all my life. And I know what a good quarterback looks like and what's hard on the defense. And a guy that has the ability to create, a guy that has the ability to throw with timing and accuracy. And the guy that can move the ball down the field when it's critical moments, like on 3rd down, 2 minute, and all those critical moments. So I've always looked at that, and that's been a fun process for me. I look at situations. I look at the guys that can operate 3rd down, 2 minute, in the end of the game situations. That to me is that's the separator for me. And then you look at toughness. You got to look, and toughness for a quarterback really is about the mental toughness to be able to stand in the pocket and deliver the ball, and then also have the discernment to be able to move out of the pocket and create when it's necessary. So, and there's is about the mental toughness to be able to stand in the pocket and deliver the ball, and then also have the discernment to be able to move out of the pocket and create when it's necessary. So, and they come on all different shapes and sizes.
Okay. Highlighted a few things there. We're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this. What was going to be a bigger video for me, I might still make it later, about Caleb Williams. You heard about the mental toughness, staying in the pocket. That's one thing. It's nice to have your mobile quarterback. It's nice to have your quarterback that can be Justin Fields and get out. It's not how you stretch the field and really keep defenses off balance. Not knocking on Justin Fields. You guys know on this channel, I still believe in him. You'll see why in this video too. I still think he'll do fine, but this is why the Bears went ahead and drafted Caleb Williams. Not just that, drafted him over the Hall and Jaden Daniels. There's a difference here. He's a generational quarterback. So let me get into it. This was going to be my video for that. But if you guys paid attention to my fact-checking videos, I know a lot of people didn't. It's boring, analytical, stupid stuff. I get it. It's not stupid to me. But a lot of people think the analytical stuff is not fun to follow. I'm going to take that video. I'm going to expand it further and show why the Bears picked Caleb Williams. So, number one. Number one, let me start off by pointing out what he's saying about 3rd and 4th down and 4th quarter, okay? 3rd and 4th down, we've already pointed out on this channel, so I'm not going to emphasize that. But one of the big things that really won me over with Caleb when I watched the Pivot podcast, when Justin was gone, when I started going over everything, one of the things I didn't realize, because USC didn't make the bowl games, didn't make the big bowl games, didn't make the championship, didn't win those huge games. Caleb did his part. He put up his points, and the defense didn't necessarily do their part. Now, I've always said quarterback is the general. He's responsible for everything, and that's true. But then when you start to break it down, he played positive in a difficult situation. 3rd and 4th down, 0 interceptions on 199 pass attempts, okay? We've already established that. That's not the point of this one. Let's get into the next part, okay? So my position-by-position fact-checking, the most important things to me for a quarterback and analyzing a quarterback is their adjusted completion percentage, number one, because this, to break that down, that's an advanced metric, but it shows the quarterback's ability outside of the team. So regardless of the team, the drops, the getting sacked, all those things, this shows the quarterback's ability to get the ball on target to the players where they want to go. Now, it kills Bears fans because Aaron Rodgers is one of the best to ever play the game as far as this is concerned. Pinpoint accuracy. That's what you want out of your quarterback. He can thread it on a dime 50 yards and hit a thumbtack. The guy is just, he protects the ball, he doesn't turn it over, and he puts it right where it needs to go. Okay, so the definition, adjusted completion percentage, is the percentage of aimed passes thrown on target, completions plus drops divided by aimed, and it takes out all the negative things that don't reflect on a quarterback necessarily, like drops or, the balls that interceptions count, but the placement of where the ball is supposed to go. All right. So next, 4th quarter, plus minus from every drive. This is simply what it means, and I'm going to get to there in the next screen. And then NFL pass ratings, the next one, and then poor pass percentage. Those are pretty self-explanatory. So here is my 4th quarter drive from every play. So in the 4th quarter alone, the touchdown drive is worth 3 points. Field goal is worth 2 points. Punts, -1 point. You didn't get the ball. You didn't keep moving the ball, kill time, or get down and score. Turnover on downs is -2 points, and an interception or fumble is -3 points. So this is what I showed. A lot of people, a lot of Packer fans especially, hate me for this. It is what it is. Justin Fields last year was very criticized because he was one of the worst in the league as far as the 4th quarter. We had struggles. Now we can put that on Luke Getsy. We can say the play calls, the conservative nature of the team, the schemes. We can do a lot of that stuff. It's all true. It all relates. It is what it is. His adjusted completion percentage was 74.4, 24th in the league. It was improving every year. That's what I hitched my wagon to, and that's why I was excited for him, and I wanted more of the Hall to really round out this team and to be able to build the other pieces of it. I am so glad we didn't go that route. I'm so glad that Ryan Poles is in charge of this team to be able to put us where we need to be. Now, Jordan Love had a 72.9% adjusted completion percentage, one of the absolute worst in the league, 33rd. And his 4th quarter was -6. Okay. Not the point of this video. You see a quarterback like Jared Goff, though, 78.3 adjusted completion percentage was very well, tied for fourth and a plus 31. This is why the Bears went and got Caleb Williams. So, number one, let me remove me from the screen. I don't want to remove it. I want to go like this. Okay. Here's the fourth quarter, plus or minus from every drive. Now, look at these two side by side. Justin Fields last year, he had 7 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and he played less games than Jordan Love. Jordan Love had 8 touchdowns all year in 17 games in the fourth quarter. The Bears had 11 field goals in the fourth quarter. The Packers had 10. So basically, this shows you right off the bat, if the Packers didn't have a huge lead, they weren't coming from behind. Their defense wasn't the key, and Jordan Love wasn't the key. 14 punts by both teams, 6 turnovers on down by Jordan Love, and 8 interceptions or fumbles by Jordan Love in the fourth quarter. 11 by Justin Fields. One of the biggest reasons that fans and people had big stresses over him, wasn't handling the fourth quarter, Luke Getsy, blah, 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 whatever. But there you are, side by side. I'm not trying to say either one of these should be the starting quarterback for the Bears because we're gone from here. That's not the point. Let's look at it in college. This is what I like to look at as players coming into the league. Well, it wasn't any different for Jordan Love in college. He sucked in the fourth quarter as well there in Utah State. Not even as good a school as your Big Ten, your SEC, your Pac-12, your Big 5 conference schools, not even as good. Justin Fields, in 2020, a shortened year, you can see it says 8 games, 7 touchdowns, 1 field goal, 4 punts, 1 turnover on down, 0 interceptions, 0 fumbles. Okay. Jordan Love, 2019, before he came into the league, 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals, 16 punts, 1 turnover on down, and 4 interceptions or fumbles. A negative 20 grade in college. If you're doing that bad in college, how's it going to translate to the NFL? Well, it's the same story for Jordan Love. It's translating to the NFL. The difference is he's on an amazing team with an amazing coach with the Packers. It is what it is at that point. All right, so let's look at this. Here's Caleb Williams last year. Okay, so for all those still wanting to criticize him at USC, here's the fourth quarter for him this last year. Now, this doesn't even include, I'm going to bring me on so I can talk for a second. This doesn't even include those first couple games because in the first couple games, they were blowing teams out so much, their weak competition, that he wasn't even playing in the fourth quarter. So this is only including those games that were the high contested, tough games. So this is only showing the most elite of competition. All right, let's go back here. So here's Caleb Williams last year in the fourth quarter. So we've already established third and fourth down at USC, 199 attempts, 0 interceptions. That last one at the bottom, 1 interception, that was a fumble in the fourth quarter. But 15 touchdowns, 1 field goal, 5 punts, 3 turnovers on down, mostly when they were trying to come from behind and they didn't succeed in coming from behind. 1 interception or fumble. A plus 33 grade. This is the reason right here that the Bears went and got Caleb Williams. So look at him versus Jaden Daniels, because a lot of people are making those comparisons, and I'll get into a point here. Jaden Daniels, 15 touchdowns, 1 field goal. And obviously LSU had a much better year than USC did, but look at their comparison. Caleb Williams was a plus 33. Jaden Daniels was a plus 30. All right. Here's the other narrative that I hate that I just want to get out of the way right now. So many people are comparing Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels to Bryce Young and CJ Stroud from last year. Driving me absolutely bonkers. Because this isn't the 2023 draft class. Nobody in the 2023 draft class was said to be generational or had the talent that Caleb Williams has. Or Jaden Daniels. They're both Heisman Trophy winners, and they're both – you can't take back the fact that I analyzed before the season, and I said Jaden Daniels is going to be a good quarterback. 100% believe that. I really do. I think Washington's in good hands with Jaden Daniels. I said I would rather have the trade down, take Jaden Daniels, and take the haul. Now – fast forward 2 months, I've completely changed my stance on that because of everything I see in Caleb Williams. His ability to be able to move and work the pocket, the ability he had with his lesser team than Jaden Daniels to be able to work the team down the field, to be able to work his receivers, to be able to create that time and space and still stay in the pocket and step up and get things done. Not turning the ball over on third and fourth down. Having such a high fourth quarter plus or minus in college. Those things translate. Now you can say, well, Justin Fields had a plus 17 in college. I agree. It's not just one thing. It's not just Obviously, if you had a negative 20 like Jordan Love, I'd be more concerned. But Justin Fields came into a tough situation in Chicago. So it's not just the quarterback's ability, it's his ability and the situation he's coming into. And obviously, we know already the Bears have an ideal elite plus situation for him to walk into. All of the things are there for him to line up. Now, if you're going to look at Drake May had a plus minus. I didn't show it here. It's not as good as either of these guys. He had a positive plus minus, more like Justin Fields. He's walking into an exact similar situation as Justin Fields in New England. Bad line, bad coaching, unproven coaching, receivers that are really struggling. I mean, their whole receiving core is not what it used to be. They don't have the same type of players now. They have a couple of players that could be okay, but that's the same situation that the Bears had Justin Fields walk into. So it's a multitude of things, but when you've got a player like Caleb that's generational, that can throw it the way he does, that steps into the pocket, that works off platform, all these things line up to be exactly why you listen at the combine to Matt Eberflus talking about a leader, command of the team. You've seen that as he's got drafted. It wasn't this revolt where everybody was against him, where it wasn't working out, where it wasn't going to, he didn't win the locker room over. Right off the bat, you hear people like Cole Kmet, Jalen Johnson saying, you know what, we just needed to get to know this guy. We just needed to understand. We needed to talk to him. And he's won the city over. He's won the people over. But more importantly, he has what it takes in third down, fourth down, and fourth quarters. All right, you guys want to talk about Jordan Love? We can talk about goofy Jordan Love. Yes, I think they need to absolutely extend him right now for where was the one you had, Creighton? The rumor out there, 5 years, $280 million. Get it done. Get it done. I would love nothing more than to see Jordan Love on the Packers for the next 3 years. And yes, 3 years. 5 year, $280 million. That's how long Jordan Love would be on the Packers. This year, next year, and the year after, then they will cut him and have to kill that dead cap. I don't know if I need to say much more about that, but it is what it is there. In fact, we can go, let me go here. This is my Twitter, guys. So my new account, the first thing that I did, go away you, was repost my takes for this year, and I'll go over them on here. My profile. All right, so here's my takes, guys. I'm going to show them to you guys right now. Here's my takes for this year. 2024 is going to be a special year for the Bears. Here's my 10 predictions as we head into the season. I take these really seriously. I really do think a lot about these, and then I put them down. 5 for the North and 5 for the players on the Bears, okay? So let's go with the North first. So the Bears defense will hold teams to an average under 20 points per game. Might seem simple to a lot of you guys, but only 7 teams did that last year. I absolutely think the Bears will be top 3 defense as far as points per game allowed. A lot of other categories as well, but I'm holding firm to that one. Number 2, the Bears will win a playoff game. Number 3, the Lions will win the NFC North and have the best NFC record, but not make it to the Super Bowl. That one's more of a bold take. I 100% believe it. I think a lot of Bears fans are overlooking the Lions because there's annoying people like Don Burr out there that have never. Give Don Burr a little bit of a break. He went through 40 years of terrible to be able to get to one NFC North and then a playoff win. They finally had it. The thing is, the Lions have improved in every area of their team this year, from their draft picks to DJ Reader to, I don't remember his name right off the bat off my head, but their one weakness was their guard, and they went and got, I think it's Zeitler. They signed him from Baltimore. The Lions are a juggernaut. Now, it's easy for Bears fans to say, oh, we own the Lions. No, we don't. We beat them for 7 out of 8 quarters. They came back and beat us. I absolutely don't mind being the underdog to the Lions because it makes it more valuable when we knock them off. But the reality is the Lions are the team to beat, not just in the NFC North, but in the NFC. To me, I think they're better than the Niners. I think they're better than every other team in the NFC. I think the Lions are the team to beat. Now, obviously, I'm not saying this as a Bears fan homer. I truly believe the Lions are the team to beat, and I look forward to Thanksgiving game. I look forward to the 2 matchups because I think we have a shot against them, but it's going to be a tough, tight game. All right, next up, the Packers will have a losing record and be swept by both the Bears and the Lions this season. Guys, I don't just like I just gave the Lions credit, the Packers to me were such a fluke last year. There's different videos that show luck in football. Now, I know luck is a result of preparation met with opportunity, blah, blah, blah. They won multiple games last year that they shouldn't have won because of things that just went their way that normally don't. Like other teams not doing things, like missing a field goal when they should normally hit that field goal. So the Packers, to me, were really a 6-7 win team that squeaked into the playoffs, and then they tout themselves because they beat the Cowboys, but everybody beats the Cowboys in the playoffs because the Cowboys don't know how to show up for the playoffs. The Cowboys are like the Carolina Panthers when it comes to the playoffs, but Panthers for the season. So I truly believe that. This is my take. I 100% believe we will sweep the Packers and the Lions will sweep the Packers. I believe that. And the Packers will have a losing record this year. Number 5, the Bears won't have 3 1,000-yard receivers like fans are hoping, but will have 2 and 6+ receivers and or tight end running backs with over 500 yards apiece. After what I'm seeing at camp, this is even more firm. I posted this several days ago, July 22nd. That's when I reposted it. Anyways, I did it this last week. But I think Tyler Scott's going to have – in fact, let's go there. Let's go to this one. That'll be number 4. All right, so here's the individual players. Here's my predictions for the individual players. Austin Booker will start the season as defensive end 4 and end up with defensive end 2 starting by week 15. Number 2, Tyreek will have a better year than Jalen Johnson. Both will be excellent. This is a bold take. I 100% believe it from what I saw on Tyreek last year. I think he's going to be the number 1 graded cornerback in the entire league this year. That's a Bears homer thing to say, but everything I'm seeing on him, everything has improved. And as a rookie, he got overlooked, and he's going to come out proving it this year. Number 3, Caleb Williams will win Offensive Rookie of the Year. There's so many more I could do on that one, but that's the take I wanted to take. He's going to break every rookie record. He's going to break every Bears record. There's so much good there. Number 4, Darnell Wright, Gervon Dexter, Zach Pickens, Tyreek Stevenson, Roschon Johnson, and Tyler Scott will all grade better in year 2 than their rookie year. That does not happen often, where your top 6 picks, your top 4 rounders from the year before, all have improved years from the year before. That's going to show off Ryan Pohl's masterclass in drafting, and I truly believe every single one of those players will have a better year than they did their rookie year. And most of them had really, really solid, good rookie years. So that is saying a lot. Number 5, Velus Jones Jr. will lead the league in kickoff return touchdowns and yards per return. All right, so there's my bold takes for the Bears for this upcoming year. Let's get into the team. We're getting shorter on time. What's up in chat, guys? My goodness, I'm not even paying attention to chat because I'm trying to get everything going here, All right, let's see here. F love. I agree. Guys, all right, so I'm not your Pat the designer. I'm not even Swifty. Swifty is more fact-based, no narrative. That's what he set his channel up on. Swifty set his channel up on that type of stuff. Pat's very reporting with a little bit more analytical. Nick and Harrison Graham or some reporting, a little bit of rumors, that type of stuff. I don't even know how to explain myself on here, except the analytical guy that's trying to break open stats for you guys to see things that nobody else is showing. With that, I'm going to take my bold takes. I'm going to take some lumps. I'm going to take some wins. I'm going to take some losses. Obviously, my Jacob Martin take right now is winning today. Is it going to translate into the season? We'll see. But obviously, Eric Washington feels the same way I do. If you missed that at the beginning of the show, go back and watch it. It's worth your time. Jacob Martin's going to be an absolute stud for us this year. If you want me to put a sack number to it, because that's what everybody seems to love is the sack number, not his actual production of pressure rate or win rate or all that stuff. I honestly think Jacob Martin, in a very limited role, will have 7-8 sacks this year. I 100% believe that. He is built for this team and this situation to come in as defensive end 3, as a third down rushing specialist. That's what he's built for, and he's going to electrify fans this year. He's going to make everyone very excited that we have him. But I'm going to have takes that your media, your national narrative aren't going to agree with, and they're not going to point out. That big one this year, and I'm either going to take some huge lumps for this one, or I'm going to take a huge victory for this one. Jordan Love is the bust of this year because he was overhyped and given credit for things that he had nothing to do with. He is the epitome of a quarterback that a team can win with, but never because. And if you missed my fourth quarter stats, this proves it right here. That's what he is. Now look at him compared to Justin Fields last year. Look at the Bears losing to the Broncos, losing to the Raiders, losing to the Browns, losing to the Buccaneers, all at the very end of the game. Justin Fields went through his lumps for all of those things. Jordan Love did not, for the exact same situation. Exact same. Now, a lot of Bears fans don't realize that because they don't watch the Packers the same way as the Bears. But he ended the game on 7 different games by turning the ball over on opportunities where they could have come back and won, including the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, including the Raiders. There's either turnover on downs with 4 straight incompletions or interceptions or a fumble. Fumbled against the Buccaneers, intercepted 4 or 5 different times, then turned over on downs with 4 straight incompletions. Incomplete, because he's inaccurate. All right. That will be the last time I talk about Jordan Love on this episode. If you've been following me on my channel or on Twitter, you'll see that I'm talking about it a lot. But the big news right now is that Jordan Love is holding in their training camp. They just started this week. And both sides are mutually agreeing that it's most likely done, that it's going to be somewhere around a 5-year, $280 million deal, that he's going to be the highest paid quarterback ever. As Bears fans, this is a very, very good team. This will not crush their salary cap right now. They're such a young team with such young contracts. What they did in the draft, their GM is a masterclass as well. What they did in the draft with Dontavian Wicks and Jaden Reed and Christian Watson and on and on and on. I mean, honestly, they are drafting wide receivers that are at least above average. They don't have a home run hitting wide receiver 1 like the Bears do. They didn't get a Romo Dunze. They don't have a DJ Moore. And the Bears didn't draft all those guys. Obviously, we traded for DJ Moore. We traded for Keenan Allen. But they're drafting guys that are above average. And in Matt LaFleur's offense are getting wide open. So Jordan Love can miss them by 2 or 3 yards, 5 yards, 10 yards over their head. The thing is, here's the huge thing for this year, why I am so confident saying Jordan Love's going to be a bust. Number 1, you watch him on tape, and he's not even close to accurate. Number 2, his stats reflect that. His fourth quarter play, -6, which is terrible in the NFL. His adjusted completion percentage being 33rd in the league. Those things stack up, but the biggest difference is last year they had all these receivers they also didn't have tape on. So when teams are preparing for them, didn't have tape on them. Now you have tape on all those receivers. You have tape on Jordan Love not being accurate, not being able to plant his foot properly. I mean, his mechanics, if you want to look at mechanics and compare, if you want me to choose today between Jordan Love and Justin Fields, I'm 100% picking Justin Fields. And I am not kidding any of you. I mean that 100%. I would pick 30 quarterbacks in this league over Jordan Love. The Packers are a good team. You can put almost anyone on that team, and it's the system team. You hear that all the time, but that's true. Now, I break down all the time players, and Brock Purdy gets that reputation because he's on the Niners, because the Niners win. It makes no sense to me why you can flip-flop those two and not have the take, because Brock Purdy is actually freaking accurate. On point. He has a high adjusted completion percentage. He doesn't miss. It makes no sense to me. Brock Purdy, to me, is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league right now. 100%. 100% mean that. People might not agree with that. I 100% mean it. Jordan Love will be a bust this year. I 100% believe that. What's neat is to watch these cheeseheads melt their reaction to this, because they don't trust that Caleb Williams is it yet because he's a Bear. They think that because he's a Bear, he's automatically going to be bad. Caleb Williams has things that I've never seen in a Bears quarterback before, ever. His footwork in training camp, I get it. I just barely said training camp, you'll overreact to, you'll go back and forth. He's up one day, down one day, up. It doesn't matter. But what you can look at is mechanics. And when you watch him taking a snap, his mechanics, the way he reads and looks at the field, the things you were listening to with Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards early on in OTAs, when they said he would look them off like a vet does, the way he flicks his wrist and gets it out quick, 100% sold on Caleb Williams. And that's driving Packers fans nuts. They can't handle it. They don't know how to handle this. When they have a quarterback that they know, they'll say, well, the second half of the season, it was, look at him from this stretch to this stretch, 21 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. I hear you. All his metrics didn't change. His accuracy didn't change. His fourth quarter comebacks didn't change. None of that changed when it came to clutch and when it came to him actually being a good quarterback. If they didn't have an excessive lead, look at the Panthers game. They had a big lead there, and they won by 3 points. It's crazy. I'm so glad we have Caleb Williams. Sorry. We'll look at the chat, and then I'm going to go over the team, and I'm going to give you my take on a couple things with the team, and then we'll try to wind it up. I wanted to keep it to 45. We'll keep it under an hour. Ghost of Judah Tribe, thanks so much for tuning in. Number one, Justin Sexual. I don't know what sex has to do with anything here. I absolutely believe in Justin Fields. Suck it. Sorry. Thanks for tuning in. 1 year wonder equals Jordan Love. I love it. Yep. Schefter reporting Jordan Love highest paid. Is it done? When I looked before this, they were saying it was very near being done to be announced. Yes. So I'm going to go over this in the lineup. Bear down. I heard Ogba signed with Miami. Did Connor Williams sign with Miami? No, Miami has not signed Connor Williams. Connor Williams is going to Seattle to do a workout. I don't believe we're going to sign Connor Williams after you saw everything they're saying about Ryan Bates and Coleman Shelton. It's basically a combination of them two this year. That's what it's going to be. One guy to keep your radar on, guys, is we have a first and 2 seconds and our third next year. What's his name? Texas A&M last year. He transferred to Kansas. Bryce Foster. Bryce Foster, if he came out this last year, he was my third option behind Jackson Powers Johnson. And holy crap, it's been that far since the draft, guys. I'm forgetting names already because we didn't take him. There were 2 at the top, and Bryce Foster was going to be number 3 for me. I'm sorry, I'm spacing the name right now, but that's a name to keep on your radar right now. We could take him in the 2nd or 3rd next year. I really like the idea of taking a center next year, especially with Ryan Bates on a 2-year deal, Coleman Shelton on a 3-year deal. 100% like the idea of that. Right now, as it stands, I don't see us re-signing Keenan Allen. The wide receiver market's just too crazy. We will get a good comp pick for him because I think he'll have a great year. Right around 1,000 yards with this loaded wide receiver room. So I don't see us re-signing Keenan Allen. I do see us taking an edge or defensive tackle 1st round next year, 2nd round wide receiver, and a defensive tackle or edge with the other one. I think we'll take 2 defensive linemen next year in the first 2 rounds. And then 3rd round, a center would be my guess right now as it stands. But we'll see what we end up doing with extensions and everything else as we go along. Zach Frazier, yes. Bryce Foster was 3rd behind Zach Frazier. I appreciate that, David Mays. So no, I don't think we're signing Connor Williams, Oxy Brodone, all you other guys. I believe you're right about Connor. Just with where things are, either his camp pushed him too hard too early, saying that he was healthy and it wasn't completely accurate. Teams are working him out and seeing that he's maybe a little bit farther away than they want, or he wants too much money. Or 3, the Bears have already, they've already really massively improved the line this year. So we're going to get into that in just a second. Okay, so let's jump into that. I'm sorry if I'm missing stuff in the comment, guys. I'm going to hit that real quick. The reason Caleb was drafted because Poles got antsy, and instead of banking that pick for a haul that would have made the team great, he gambled it all on an overrated, overhyped college quarterback. Okay. Ovika Kinzu. I'm not going to hate on this comment. Okay. I'm not going to hate on it because I was there. I'm going to tell you, I spend literally 30 to 40 hours a week analyzing film, looking at stat breakdowns, looking at all the stuff on these guys. I was where you are because mostly I said Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, really close to the same quarterback. Really, both Heisman quarterbacks, both good throwing motion on their arms, both solid prospects to build your team around. What I can tell you is after I've done my deep dive on Caleb, his character, the culture, what I've learned about third down, fourth down, no interceptions, fourth quarter, what I just showed in this video, it's proven to me at this point he is generational. This is what you go after. So to me, I said it, I alluded to it earlier. Everyone's kind of acting like this has to be a 2023 class with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. What if this is more like a 2020 class where you've got Tua Tagovailoa and you've got Jalen Hurts and you've got Joe Burrow. You've got multiple solid quarterbacks. Now, to take those three quarterbacks off the record and just say, what if you've got Joe Burrow as Jaden Daniels? Okay. I was okay trading down for the haul and taking Joe Burrow. But what if, just what if Caleb Williams is Pat Mahomes? What if he really is? Because everything I'm seeing now, even his off-platform throws that you've seen him practicing in camp, even his sidearm, even the way he gets it out, the way he sees his peripheral, Caleb Williams is just like Pat Mahomes in that in every piece of tape I'm watching. He sees the play developing. He can anticipate. And if he's got a guy coming, he can get it out. If he's got a linebacker right there that's just like this, he can sidearm it. Sorry, you can't see right there. I'm sidearming. He can sidearm it. So I get where you're at. I 100% understand it, and I appreciate it because the trade down for a number one pick can lead to a generational haul. We touted that here. Generational haul to rebuild the team because we do need center. We need depth at other positions. We need depth at guard. We could have gotten the Michigan guard. Man, I'm forgetting all the names now that they're not on my brain 24/7 after watching all the film on all these other guys and watching all these other stats that I'm reviewing. But Zach Zinter, that's his name. We could have gotten that. We could have gotten a better defensive end. We could have gotten we could have got two defensive ends. We could have got a defensive tackle. Excuse me. We could have got A, B, C, and D with the haul. We could have got future draft picks. We could have got a future first round and gotten a defensive tackle and a defensive end next year. I get that. The reason I was okay with that is if Jaden Daniels is Joe Burrow. I didn't necessarily believe Caleb Williams was Pat Mahomes because Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes. I mean, you can't compare anyone to Pat Mahomes. But what Ryan Poles saw and did was obviously because he did see it. And if there's someone that we can trust in that, it's obviously Ryan Poles because he was there for Pat Mahomes. He was with the Chiefs. So right now, this second, I would not trade Caleb Williams for the haul. Because if you have an opportunity to go get the next Pat Mahomes, we're talking in the next decade, maybe not this year, a rookie year, but maybe this year. I mean, it could happen. You make it to the playoffs, anything can happen. Look at the year that we were supposed to go deeper and the Eagles knocked us off with the double doink, which is a tipped kick. A lot of people don't realize that still. It was tipped. That kick was tipped. It would have gone straight through the upright if it wasn't tipped. Eagles went on and won this. Well, actually, it might have been the next year they won the Super Bowl. But underachieving teams from the wild card happens all the time. So we make the playoffs, we have a chance. And with a quarterback like Caleb getting 17 games under his belt and then going to the playoffs, it's possible. So I'm not going to hate on you for the comment, but it's absolutely somewhere I was. And I 100% believe we made the right choice now, especially when you see what he's done to trade back in and get Austin Booker, trade for Keenan Allen, trade for Ryan Bates. He's still built the team in a way that I didn't project on my, hypothetical offseason. What are we going to do? He did a masterclass, and I'm very excited, not only just for this year, but we have a first, 2 seconds, and a third next year, guys. Those are your premium draft picks, day 1 and 2 picks. Those are your premium picks. That's what we have right now. Still hurts, Adam. Okay. I agree, Plank. I agree. The whole situation hurt, though. All right, let's get into the team, where we stand right now. First of all, I am going to do this real quick. Make it bigger. Go like that. See if we can zoom it in. Whoa. Let's go back off of this. Go to the Bears. This is what you're seeing at camp, guys. I love every second of it. I'm going to refresh. See if there's anything that's updated since. All right. And this is, if those who didn't catch it, this is my new account. If you want to follow me on Twitter, follow me here on this one. I've zoomed in too much. We'll go to it in a minute. It's Bear Down Sports without an O in sports. Check it out. Appreciate you guys following me there. I've always said don't follow me on Twitter because I do a lot of political stuff. I do a lot of my own personal stuff. I don't want that to get in the way of people with their Bears feelings. This new Twitter is just for the Bears content only. You won't see political stuff. You won't see parenting stuff. You won't see the other stuff. It's just for the Bears. So our boy Nick right here posting this one from Pat the designer. Caleb out there. Oh, see it rolling out. This is what we're talking about with the Pat Mahomes type of throw. Why would we practice that? Because we have a unique and different type of quarterback. That's Justin Fields 2 years ago. I don't know why that's on there. All right, this is the big play everyone's talking about because Caleb, watch his look off, but also there's no pads on yet. So don't overreact. Don't make this crazier than it needs to be. Yeah, good play. He looks off Tremaine Edmonds. Look how Tremaine goes the wrong way. Looks him off with his eyes and hits DJ Moore. Was a little high on the throw. If you want to criticize it, a little high on the throw, a little late stepping up in. He's still getting used to the team. There's still that footwork can clean up a little bit. But overall, that's a play everyone's getting hyped over because it was a good play. I mean, you watch his eye, you watch his footwork, you watch his release here. Once he throws it, that's very quick. If you don't believe that, go back and compare it to Justin Fields. We always said Justin Fields was a developmental quarterback. So this is the stuff coming out of camp. It's a lot of fun to watch. I mean, there's so much good happening here. Accurate, on time, boom. It's just camp, though. I mean, really. There's the same play. That's old. All right. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers throwing shade on the Bears. Screw you, Aaron Rodgers. Screw you and your dog, too. Let's get into the team. I'm going to get into the team. Yes. Can we support him until it's proven either way? He may end up being great. We don't know yet. Completely agree, Jeff Potter. Completely agree. We don't need this up and down crap from camp, but the reality is, really, if you look at it, everything from camp is good, in my opinion. Everything you're seeing, including Velus Jones, Tyler Scott, those guys are all improving in this system, and it's not just because of Caleb Williams, but when you've got a quarterback that's a little more precise, a little more quick release, and more anticipation, you're going to see the results of that. And that's why I say we're going to have 6 guys with 500 yards or more, and I believe Tyler Scott will be one of them. I don't think Velus will. I think Velus is really going to specialize on kick returns. I do think he'll have some good catches, though, and we might see him try to go deep like what you see in camp right now with Pat Mahomes and Xavier Worthy going deep. You might see a little bit more of that on an aired out play. Second down, gained 7 yards, do a little surprise air attack, try to go 60 yards through the air with Velus Jones and his 4.31 speed. I absolutely think you can see a couple of those in camp. Will he catch them? We'll see. I think he's put in the work. All right, let's go to this. So this was the highlight of it. I wanted to go through the entire team because right now, to me, camp is not – I mean, camp is what it is. And nothing's even going to be determined until we get into games. And even then, preseason games don't mean jack bupkis. They really don't, guys. It's where they learn to develop and get the team together. So let's just go through the team right now. So right here, the 90-man roster is set. This is the other reason I also believe that we're not going to sign someone else because we filled it. And I wanted to do a video on it. My boy from UNLV ended up being the signing, but I'm just getting back into things. So, all right. So Swifty, thanks for tuning in. Why are we yelling? Because we have reason to yell. Swifty, if you missed the beginning of this video, go back and watch it. There's some good nuggets in it. You're going to love it, buddy. All right. So I brought Ryan Bates and Coleman Shelton down on equal level. To me, this isn't even going to be determined in camp yet. It's going to be through the preseason, but you saw some of Ryan Bates' snaps going a little errant. See, Coleman Shelton has the experience. Who knows what's going to happen? We don't. But here's the 16 guys on the offensive line where we stand right now. Here's the offensive playmakers. You see down there at the bottom, we got DeAndre Carter, Colin Johnson, Simba Webster, Peter LeBlanc, John Jackson III, and Freddie Swain, rounding out that entirely massive wide receiver room. But there's 28 guys here for our offensive playmakers. We're going to move on. We're just going to go through this quick. You can pause it. This is the undetermined things to me at this point, defensive interior and defensive end on each side that we're not really locked in on yet. I think special teams is pretty much a lock. But for defensive end, who's going to fill those last 2 gaps? Who's going to really fill in on defensive interior? I think we've kind of overlooked Byron Coward a little bit. Will it be Byron Cowart? Will it be Keith Randolph? Will it be Jamry Chroma? Who knows at this point, but I think Jacob Martin's a little bit more solidified, and Austin Booker's getting highly praised as well. So I think Austin Booker is the other defensive end as well. So those will be 3 and 4, and it's really just who's going to fill in. And guys, Khalid Kareem, I think, had 2 blocked kicks last year on special teams. So if you see Khalid Kareem be 5, I mean, it could be Dominic Robinson. I mean, really, he's put the work into his body. He's coming to the end of his contract. He was highly touted to start with. Obviously not highly. He was a late-round pick. But his abilities showed in camp very early on, and it hasn't translated. One of the worst in the league. We'll see what happens there. Secondary, here's the secondary. Pretty much rounds out pretty evenly. Really, here's the questions of where we're going to see as we go through camp. Let's come back to the screen in a second. Here's really my questions for camp and through the preseason, what we're going to see. Number 1, the positional battles will be on offense, Coleman Shelton and Ryan Bates. You're not going to see that solved in camp, and anybody saying, haha, I told you so, Ryan Bates is it, doesn't know jack squat because it's really going to go through camp. Now, I am hoping it's Ryan Bates because we have 2 years of control with him. We traded for him. I'd like to see him have consistency for 2 years, and if it's Ryan Bates, and say we go draft, I can bring myself back up. Say we go draft Bryce Foster next year from Kansas, who I think is one of the most leading this year in the rookie class. Well, in next year's rookie class for centers, should be a 2nd, 3rd rounder. We go draft him. I'd like to have Ryan Bates be the center this year to be able to teach him next year, not have to rush him into it. That's what I would like to see. So there's a lot of advantage to that. Next up, return specialist. I think Bayless Jones Jr. is the lock. But as you know from the new formation, if you haven't watched that video, go check it out, where I break down the kickoffs, the new rules. There's going to be 2 back there. Who's going to make it from the team to be that other return specialist? Because they can kick it to either side. Dante Pettis, DeAndre Carter, Ian Wheeler. I think DeAndre Carter's kind of locked in as a punt returner. Same with Dante Pettis. He could be, but really you've got so many spots on the team. Will it be Ian Wheeler? Will it be who's it going to be? These are what I'm watching as we go through the rest of camp. Running back roster cut. There's going to be someone cut that we don't want cut, possibly 2. Oh, my hell. Dude. Catch up. That's all I got to say is catch up. I mean, I tried to be nice on the last comment, but catch up. That's so errantly wrong. Go look at his adversity. Go look at what he's been through. I mean, okay. Travis Homer, Kerry Blasingame, Ian Wheeler. On defense, who's going to take tackle 4? Byron Cowart, Keith Randolph, Jamry Chroma. Right now, those seem like the 3, and that's mostly what we'll see through camp and through the 4 preseason games that we have. Edge 5, Khalid Kareem, Dominic Robinson, Jamry Chroma. This is more and more why I think Jamry Chroma, if he plays well, could end up being solidified as that guy. Now, there are things that I don't know everything about with the PUP list. He went on and he came off. To me, I understood that means he had to miss at least 6 games. The first 2 games of the season, the 4 preseason games. Apparently, there's a designation from when you start camp. I don't know yet the answer to that. If you guys know in the comments, go ahead and let me know if you know if Jamry Chroma can be on the 53-man right off the bat or if he has to start on the PUP list. I know once he comes off, he can't go back on. Anyways, there's where we stand. And safety 4 is my other question mark in camp. Elijah Hicks, Quindale Johnson, Tavarius Moore, Douglas Coleman, Adrian Colbert. To me, Elijah Hicks is a cut candidate right off the bat. I think Quindale Johnson did well enough last year to solidify himself as safety 4. Obviously, we know that got to go back. Jonathan Owens is safety 3. He can play both free safety and strong safety really, really well. I need to do a full breakdown on Jonathan Owens and the steal that he is for the Bears. Forget the fact that he tried to injure Justin Fields. Forget the fact that all that stuff. Yeah, I know he's off the PUP list, Swifty, but what are the rules for him being able to play in the season once you're designated on the PUP? That's what I want to know. Because before it was, if you go on the PUP, you have to miss at least 6 games, the first 2 games of the season, all 4 preseason games. But there's a special designation when you enter camp before. It's a different type of PUP. And I have to look that up. I have to get more familiar with it. Elijah Hicks, the cut candidate. Really, safety 4 comes down to me, Quindale Johnson, and Tarvarius Moore. That's what I think as we head into this season. So, all right. So here's the other news. Let me move this. I think you guys all know this at this point. Jonathan Owens is allowed to go. I think this is a huge win for the Bears. This is a huge win on their point, letting him go to the Olympics. Look at the bottom left. This will help you to understand when he'll be gone. So he's there at camp now. He'll presumably go see Biles during qualifications on July 28th. He'll be at practice Thursday, July 25th, before taking off, and then will return August 4th. So he will miss the Hall of Fame game August 1st against the Texans, which would have been kind of fun to watch because he started with his big breakout was with the Texans. Then he went to Green Bay. Now he's with the Bears. But really, he probably wasn't playing in that anyways. When you look at this, these guys that are pictured aren't going to be seeing a ton of time in the Hall of Fame game. They'll see more time as we go into the preseason games. They aren't going to be seeing as much time. So the pictured guys won't see as much. Maybe the rookies will get a snap or two more. But all right, so there's that. And then here's the Jordan Love thing. We already talked about it. I've gone into that full extent. Put your puke emoji, cheese emoji, puke emoji, cheese emoji, blah, blah, blah. But yes, Jonathan Owens is excused. The Paris Olympics start the 25th is the opening ceremony. But there's the schedule for his wife there at the bottom. He'll be there the 28th and return for the 4th. But here's her, bottom right. She'll start on July 28th. So this is for Simone Biles. And no, we're not going to refer to him as Simone Biles' husband because this is Jonathan Owens. He's our flex safety. He's our safety 3 stud that we got on the team. So I love it. All right. Women's team final begins July 30th. Women's all-around final August 1st. So she'll be competing through when he comes back. So he won't see the floor exercise final, which she's a huge favorite. She's a huge favorite for everything she's in. He won't see that, but he will be back to the team on August 4th so he can play in the second preseason game. The only other thing I had, I'm trying to hurry and go through the end real quick. These are the players in the final year of their contract. We already talked about how Tevin Jenkins won't get an offer until at least the end of the season. I put pluses next to the guy that I think are locks for the team as it stands right now. Little cancel marks for guys that I think are definitely cut candidates, and the question marks are the guys that are right on the verge. These are the guys that will be fighting for position in camp. Another thing for you if you want to just pause that, kind of check it out. But that's kind of where I stand with things. So we went over an hour. I apologize to you guys. Great episode, though. Appreciate all you guys being here. Thanks for being in the chat. Thanks for being a part of the Bears community. Those are my takes on where we are right now. This was Free Talk Tuesday. There's a lot to be excited about. If you didn't check out the entire video, go back and look what Eric Washington said on Jacob Martin. Jacob Martin is clearly defensive end 3 for all the haters out there who don't understand Jacob Martin. Austin Booker is going to be a stud to be reckoned with. This team is just fine. The quarterback the center competition is not something to be fixed on day one. And no, I don't love and feel comfortable about it, but I've got options. I don't think we're signing anybody else this offseason. If there's a surprise cut candidate, we do have the cap space to be able to go and do something if there's the right player for the right fit. They've also said that they have no problem adding talent at the right positions to be able to help this team compete and succeed. With that, I appreciate all of you. You guys are great. Claws up, bear down, and the Bears.